Chapter 1. Outlook, the Eyesight Cornwall newsletter. Spring-Summer 2025. My name is Daniel and I'm a volunteer at Eyesight Cornwall. Inside this issue, we bring you details of the upcoming digital switchover from analog phones, a guest feature from the founder of Esme's Umbrella, all the news from around the charity and much more. We start with an introduction from Chief Executive Carol Theobald. I'm delighted to announce that we have welcomed 4 new trustees to our board following a rigorous selection process. Beatrix Love, Jared Love, Rhys Morris, and Mel Richardson bring a wealth of personal and professional experience with them. They have come from a range of different backgrounds, and each demonstrated an eagerness to use their skills to help the charity reach its goals. Each trustee has been co-opted onto the board, and members will have the opportunity to vote on their election at the next AGM. The recruitment of our new trustees was driven by the fact that 4 of our current board will reach the end of their terms with us this year. Sadly, that means that in this edition of Outlook, we are saying goodbye to our current chair, Ian McCormick, and Steve Hollier, who both stepped down in May. Ian joined the board in 2018 before becoming chair in 2022. Having been diagnosed with glaucoma 10 years ago, sight loss is a subject close to Ian's heart, and he has been involved with a number of sight loss charities in the past. Steve, who also joined the board in 2018, has been a member of Eyesight Cornwall for over 30 years, and we hope he will continue to represent the charity as a member after he steps down from the board. Steve is a local entrepreneur, having invented the Roommate, an audio device that describes the layout of disabled access toilets, as well as the Huju all-terrain cane tip for long cane users. I'd like to personally thank both Ian and Steve for their support on the board and their contribution to the charity over the past 7 years. They were both on the interview panel for our new trustees and are confident that they are leaving the charity in good hands. Claire Green, who was previously vice chair, has stepped up to become chair of the board. With new trustees joining us, I've been looking ahead to what we want to achieve over the next few years, and in particular how we can celebrate a very special anniversary next year. In September 2026, the charity will turn 170, which we believe makes us Cornwall's oldest charity. We want to mark the occasion with some special events, and we'll have details of how you can get involved in the next edition of Outlook. One of the things that we are already moving forward with is the way members can engage with different activities. More and more organisations are coming to us with one-off events that give our members the opportunity to try new experiences. In the past few months alone, we've had another tour of Pendennis Castle, a sound workshop with the National Trust, a visit to the Eden Project, several NHS research projects, and a pottery course, not to mention seated surfing last year. Many of the activities are subsidised or even free, often with just a small cost towards transport if required. We'd love to involve as many of you as possible, so if you are interested in taking part in any future activities, please let us know. Carol Theobald, Chief Executive. Chapter 2. Meet our new trustees. Beatrix Love. Beatrix is a client who lives in the Newquay area with her husband Jared and their 2 grown-up children. Beatrix is registered severely sight impaired, so she brings lived experience of sight loss to the board. She has a diverse background in business and home education. Beatrix has benefited from our Walking Buddy scheme and has been involved in several of our clubs, so she has first-hand experience of many of the charity's services. She has also volunteered as a telephone befriender, so she has dedicated her own time to support others as well. Beatrix is currently a carer whilst also studying at Cornwall College. Jared Love. Jared is married to Beatrix and works as a software and electronics engineer. Jared leads the global call quality strategy for Aircall Inc., an international telecommunications company. He also contributed to the development of the world's first multi-line Braille e-reader, the Canute 360, designed and manufactured in Bristol. Jared offers a broader lived experience with sight loss and is keen to help promote the charity's work. Rhys Morris. Rhys, who also lives in Newquay, is a retired manufacturing manager who later worked in retail and is now one of our most active volunteer drivers. He learnt about Eyesight Cornwall when his late wife suddenly lost her sight and became a client. Rhys joined Newquay Lions Club after moving to Cornwall a few years ago, having previously been a member of Lions International in the Midlands. He is a very active member who helped secure funds for our Walking Buddy scheme. Rhys is eager to promote our work in support of Lions International's mission of improving the quality of life for blind and visually impaired individuals, so that Cornwall Lions clubs are better aware of our work. Mel Richardson. Mel lives in Truro and has been a member of Eyesight Cornwall for many years, despite not having any sight loss herself. She became an avid supporter of the charity after learning about the work we do through her role as the manager for Newham's Business Improvement District, Newham BID. Mel has run a business consultancy for the last 10 years, specialising in business improvement districts, BIDs, project management and funding. She has worked with the public, private and voluntary sectors throughout her career. Mel possesses significant expertise in risk management, strategic oversight and good governance, which will be invaluable to the board. Chapter 3A, Latest News, Film Premiere. It was an afternoon to remember when we rolled out the red carpet and welcomed the stars of our film, Because I Cannot See, to the Plaza Cinema in Truro for a special screening. The film, which is audio described, tells the stories of 9 members of the Eyesight Cornwall community, explaining how sight loss has impacted their lives and the difference the charity has made to their everyday living. The film premiere was attended by these stars, alongside Eyesight Cornwall staff, volunteers and friends. It was the perfect opportunity for us to thank everyone who took part in the filming and share their stories with a wider audience. We made the film to underpin our fundraising efforts in 2025 through our See the Difference, Be the Difference campaign. We're urging people to see the difference we make to thousands of lives every year and be the difference by supporting our vital work through donations, bequests and volunteering. Chief Executive Carol Theobald said, "This is a deeply moving but hugely uplifting film that captures the complex and often life-changing nature of sight loss, told from the unique perspectives of 9 individuals in Cornwall who live with it every day. They are the true stars of the film, and we're hugely grateful to all of them for letting us tell their stories. We hope this film will inspire people to support our work at a time when demand continues to rise, so no one in our community has to face sight loss alone." You can watch the film on our website, Facebook page or YouTube channel. Did you know? Both of Cornwall's local cinema groups, WTW Cinemas and Merlin Cinemas, plus the Polly in Falmouth, accept the CEA card, which is a national scheme run by the Cinema Exhibitors Association, CEA. The card enables a disabled cinema guest to receive a complimentary ticket for someone to go with them. Some restrictions may apply on private screenings. Visit www.ceacard.co.uk to apply for your card. Chapter 3B, Accessible Scientific Video Game. Eyesight Cornwall clients, members and staff have helped to create a video game which gives researchers an important insight into diseases and how they spread. We have been working with the team at Then Try This and researchers at the University of Edinburgh to create an accessible version of Nurgle, a social science game which has been designed to create an understanding of how people's social networks and decision-making changes how diseases spread through communities. Researchers find it difficult to get data on the spread of diseases when they run models through computers, because the computer will always make the logical and perfect choice, whereas human behaviour is much more unpredictable. Nurgle allows researchers to study what choices the player makes and how that affects the spread of illnesses. Dr. Amber Griffiths from the Then Try This team explains, you play as a cute Nurgle in your choice of fancy hat. You can potter around a strange world chatting with other Nurgles and living beings in the game, but there is an ominous disease which begins to spread during your playtime. While it might not seem like you're doing anything serious, just by playing you're generating important data for disease research, which could lead to important public health benefits in future. To achieve the accessible version, we held several workshops with people who have real lived experience with sight loss and who could share their feedback, tips and knowledge. To try out the Nurgle game yourself, visit Nurgle, nergal.thentrythis.org. It's available to play in 2 versions. Night mode is audio described and therefore designed for people with sight loss. Alternatively, you can simply press play for day mode, which doesn't include any additional accessibility features. Hayden said, as someone with very little sight, playing games can be such a challenge. But this was a wonderful experience. I felt very listened to, and all of our feedback was either implemented or addressed in some way, which was amazing. Chapter 3C, Treliske Hospital Signage. If you've been to the eye unit at Treliske Hospital recently, you may be aware that new accessible signage has been put up around the entrance to the tower block. That's because Eyesight Cornwall is part of the Royal Cornwall Hospitals Trust (RCHT) Accessibility Advisory Group, and, along with other disability charities, we get to have a say on accessibility around the hospital, particularly with the new building projects. The new signage was designed by Carolyn Garman from the Major Capital Projects team at RCHT, after learning that strong colour contrast, as well as large print, is more accessible for people with visual impairments. The signs have been put up on the way into the eye unit and near the exits, with large black arrows on a contrasting yellow background to point the way. There is also a clear sign leading to the cafe area, as well as on all the toilet doors outside the eye unit. This is just one of the ways that RCHT is making their buildings more accessible. We'll have much more to bring you as the new building project develops. Volunteer nominations open. This year's AGM is taking place on Friday the 10th of October, and nominations are now open for the Volunteering Awards. If there is an Eyesight Cornwall volunteer who has made a big difference to you, we'd love to hear about it. Get your nominations in for the Members' Choice Award by Friday the 26th of September. Chapter 3D Digital Switchover. As you may be aware, BT are aiming to move all analogue home phone services to their One Digital Voice service by January 2027. This means that anyone using an analogue phone will need to switch to a digital service no matter which telephone provider you use. In most cases, this involves simply unplugging your phone from one socket into another. However, blind and partially sighted people can receive a free home visit from an engineer who will make that switch for you as long as your provider knows you need additional support. They can also provide you with a battery-powered backup unit or a hybrid telephone at no extra cost that will keep you connected in the event of a power cut. The digital voice service will only work if you already have broadband at home. For anyone who does not have broadband and does not use a mobile phone, you will be transferred to a partially digital service called the Dedicated Landline Service, which will enable you to continue using exactly the same phone as you do today. BT will be holding a series of drop-in events in Cornwall in October to help answer any questions you may have. We'll share the details on our Facebook page when we know more. The new service is being tested prior to switchover with all types of phones, including large button phones. BT are also asking for blind and partially sighted people to take part in the testing to help make the switchover as smooth as possible, and are offering a £50 Amazon voucher in return. If you are interested in taking part, email the BT Digital Voice team at digital.voice.comms, COMMS, at bt.com. Chapter 4A Fundraising News. The Wheel Martha Band. A massive thank you to the members of the Wheel Martha Band for raising a wonderful £424 for Eyesight Cornwall with their Christmas concerts. The band raised money during their 2 festive shows at the Luckett Social Club and the Honeycomb Arms in Callington, with donations being boosted by the sales of mince pies and mulled wine. Treviglas Academy Sixth Form. The brilliant students at Treviglas Academy Sixth Form raised £796 for Eyesight Cornwall with their Charity Day and non-uniform collection. The charity was chosen by a Year 12 student whose family has been supported by Eyesight Cornwall. We are so grateful to every student who took part and to all of those who supported their fundraising efforts. Loannick Amateur Dramatic Society. Thank you to the wonderful Loannick Amateur Dramatic Society lads, who once again raised money for charity with their annual panto. This year they raised a total of £3,000, which was split between 5 charities. Bug Shooting Club and Bugle Blues Bowling Club each received £375. Cornish Christmas Giving Catalogue. A huge thank you to everyone who supported us through the Cornish Christmas Giving Catalogue. You raised an incredible £385, which increased to £440 with gift aid. Our thanks also go to the Diocese of Truro for inviting us to take part in their guide, which gives people the opportunity to give a charitable gift at Christmas and support local Cornish charities. Newquay Town Blister Lions Club. Newquay Town Blister Lions kindly donated £150 towards the Echoes of Blossom workshop held at Trerice. The donation was put towards the cost of transport to make it possible for participants to attend. Redruth Rotary Club. Before Christmas, Redruth Rotary Club members held store collections at supermarkets in Redruth, Poole and Camborne to raise money for charity. In February, Carol Theobald was invited along to a presentation evening where the money raised was donated to a number of Cornish charities. Carol was delighted to be presented with a cheque for £200 for Eyesight Cornwall. Daffodil Fundraisers. Sarah Lawrence has been selling locally grown daffodils in Curie Village and Poldhu Beach on the Lizard to raise money for charity with the help of farmers Reuben, Kerry and Harriet Kernow. As always, the team picked 2 charities to donate to, and we're delighted to have been chosen again this year. The season has now come to an end, and they've raised a fantastic £1,300 in total from the sale of the flowers plus individual donations, with £650 of that being donated to Eyesight Cornwall. Chapter 4b. Ubuntu Opticians. Ubuntu Opticians at Truro recently held a fundraising event in their store which raised £1,630 for Eyesight Cornwall. This donation is even more incredible as it comes off the back of a burglary at the Ubuntu store in which designer sunglasses, as well as an Eyesight Cornwall collection tin, was stolen. Following the break-in, resident optometrist and owner of Ubuntu, Sandia Darumpel, was determined to turn the negative experience into a positive one. Luckily, some of the stock was recovered, and although it was damaged and could not be sold as new, some of the glasses were still usable, so Sandia decided to sell the damaged stock at discounted prices, with all the proceeds going to charity. For 1 week in March, customers were able to buy the discounted sunglasses and treat themselves to a cupcake or biscuit provided for free by a local baker, Chasing Cake. The sunglasses flew off the shelves, and thanks to the generosity of Ubuntu's customers, often adding their own donations, an incredible amount was raised. A huge thank you to everyone who contributed. Sandia said, "We are very much a part of the Truro community, and all the horror that an event like a burglary can bring was completely outweighed by the generosity and speed to come to our aid that we witnessed from the community. It was thanks to this outpouring of support that we wanted to give something back." Thanks to our supporters: Curie Village Daffodil Fundraisers, Diocese of Truro, Ubuntu Opticians, Kerrier North U3A, Loannick Amateur Dramatic Society, Liz's Quizzes, Newquay Town Blister Lions Club, Redruth Rotary Club, St Mary's Methodist Church Bright Hour, Treviglas Academy, Wheel Martha Band. Chapter 5. NHS Cancer Focused Project. We've recently begun working with the NHS Peninsula Cancer Alliance to help spread awareness of the signs and symptoms of certain cancers to blind and partially sighted people and increase engagement with cancer screening programmes. Engagement with NHS cancer screening programmes is lower in some groups of people, including those who are visually impaired. These groups are also less likely to book a GP appointment if they have known signs or symptoms of cancer. This project aims to understand why that is, what barriers these people face, and what can be done to increase attendance for screening appointments. We held 2 workshops with clients in St Austell and Helston to find out what their experiences have been. Their feedback gave us a valuable insight into some of the barriers they've faced and helped us understand why they don't always take action when symptoms present themselves. An interesting theme was out of sight, out of mind. If your sight loss prevents you from seeing a particular symptom, it's much easier to put it to the back of your mind, even though you know it's there. We also found that many people are aware of the visual clues which present themselves for certain cancers, such as changes to moles, but these are harder to detect with sight loss. So with that in mind, we've put together some information about the symptoms of cancer which can be monitored without sight. Cancer signs and symptoms. The signs are there even if you cannot see them. Cancer screening tests can detect a problem early, so don't delay and always attend your appointment when invited. If you're worried about a symptom, don't wait to be offered a screening. Contact your GP if you experience any of the following: coughing, chest pain and breathlessness, especially if you've had a cough for 3 weeks or more, changes in bowel habits, stomach pain, diarrhea or constipation, a feeling of not having fully emptied your bowels after going to the toilet, bloating, if you've had bloating for 3 weeks or more, lumps. Regularly check your breasts, underarms, groin and testicles for any lumps or changes. Skin changes if you have a mole which starts itching, crusting, flaking or bleeding, or itchy skin. Unexplained weight loss. Feeling tired and unwell and you're not sure why. How can we help? Another barrier that came up in the workshops that people with sight loss face when engaging with screening programs is lack of transport. So for a trial period, we're extending our volunteer-led transport scheme to include attending screening appointments. This means that anyone with a letter inviting them to a cancer screening appointment can request a volunteer driver to get them there and back home again. This is dependent on volunteer driver availability and you will be charged for the mileage, but it works out far cheaper than booking a taxi. And if it means that you can make your appointment, then we hope you will consider it. Get involved. You can take part in the project by going onto our website and answering a short survey. We will also be conducting the survey at our upcoming community drop-in events. Chapter 6, Guest Feature, written by Judith Potts, founder of Esme's Umbrella. Judith Potts was an actress, working under her maiden name Judith Fielding. Following a breast cancer diagnosis, she began writing an online column about cancer and general health for The Telegraph. When her mother developed Charles Bonnet syndrome, CBS, Judith turned her attention to writing about the condition. In 2015, she launched the charity Esme's Umbrella, named after her late mother, to raise awareness of CBS, create ways to support people with the condition, and to source funding for research. We're delighted that Judith has written an article specifically for Outlook to tell us more about the condition and how our charity can help. Are you seeing images that cannot possibly be there? Visual hallucinations after sight loss seem like a contradiction in terms, but they're all too real for the 1 million adults in the UK, and, as yet, an undetermined number of children who live with a condition called Charles Bonnet syndrome. My mother Esme was one such person. For this proud independent lady it took many months of anguish before she confided in me about the faceless people sitting on her sofa, the Edwardian child who followed her everywhere, and the gargoyle head which jumped from table to chair. Sometimes the whole room morphed into an alien environment. Glaucoma was stealthily taking her sight, the loss of which she was managing with great versatility, still completing the Telegraph cryptic crossword correctly every day. But CBS began to take her spirit. Birth of Esme's Umbrella. Esme's ophthalmologist refused to discuss CBS. Her GP diagnosed dementia, and her optometrist had never heard of it. After Esme died, my campaign, now a charity, was born in her memory. Esme's umbrella provides information and support for people who develop CBS. We are learning more each day about this debilitating condition, and the UK now leads the world in CBS research. The rise in understanding that this is not a mental health condition is allowing more people to confide in doctors, family and friends. CBS has been accepted by the World Health Organization as a condition in its own right. Now we need a proper NHS pathway for diagnosis and treatment. CBS occurs when people lose their sight because the brain isn't receiving as much information from the eyes as it used to, so it responds by filling in the missing information with patterns or pictures. Not everyone with sight loss develops CBS, but for those who do, it can be frightening and disorientating. There is currently no cure for CBS, but there are ways of managing the condition, such as eye movement exercises, changing the lighting conditions that you're in when the hallucination occurs, or reaching out to touch it. There are also medications which should be avoided, and those which have been found to help. For more information on these medications and the different coping strategies, or to become a member of Esme's umbrella for free, visit www.charlesbonnet, syndrome.uk. Chapter 7. Benefits Update. What is happening to welfare benefits? As you will have no doubt heard in the news, the government is proposing a number of changes to welfare benefits in a bid to help more people into work. However, the proposals are currently in the consultation phase, so you still have the opportunity to have a say on the changes and the impact they might have. Personal Independent Payment, PIP. PIP is currently for people aged between 16 and state pension age, and helps with some of the extra costs caused by long-term ill health or a disability. It has two components, mobility and daily living. The proposed changes would only affect the daily living component and would require claimants to score a minimum of 4 points in at least one activity in order to receive payment for this component. Under the new proposals, PIP payments would also be reassessed more frequently. However, those with the highest levels of a permanent condition or disability will no longer face reassessment. The changes, which would also see the minimum age to claim the benefit rise from 16 to 18, would take effect from November 2026. Universal Credit. Universal Credit is a payment to help with your living costs if you're on a low income, out of work, or you cannot work. Currently, you must be aged between 18 and the state pension age and have 16,000 or less in money, savings and investments in order to be eligible. Under the new proposals, the work capability assessment for Universal Credit would be scrapped in 2028 and moved to a single assessment solely through the PIP assessment. The basic level of Universal Credit will rise to £106 by 2029, but the additional health element would be frozen at £420 a month for existing claimants until 2029, and the weekly rate halved for new claimants. The government is also proposing to change the minimum age for getting a health top-up for Universal Credit from 18 to 22. Employment support. Alongside the changes, the government has announced a £1 billion package of support to help disabled people into work. They plan to introduce a right to try, so that people can try work without fear of losing their benefits and having to reapply if it doesn't work out. Have your say. You can take part in the government's consultation online at gov.uk and searching for Pathway to Work consultation, or by emailing your thoughts to consultation.pathwaystowork@dwp.gov.uk. They recommend that you read the full proposal on their website before responding. A large print copy is also available to download. The consultation closes at 11:59 on 30th of June 2025. We're working with other local charities to put forward a joint submission which will represent the views of people with disabilities across Cornwall. Chapter 8. Low Vision. The importance of good lighting. Good lighting can increase clarity and help you make the most of the sight you have. Simple, inexpensive changes such as repositioning furniture to maximize natural light or changing the type of light bulbs and lampshades you use can make a big difference around the home. We can advise you on the different types of lighting and give you tips on maximizing light and reducing glare. New lights. We have a range of different lights for sale that we can demonstrate at the Sight Centre, and we've recently added to our collection with 2 new portable lights. NightSafe Safety Sensor Nightlight and Torch. This is a unique 3-in-1 light which can be used as a motion sensor activated nightlight, a torch, and an emergency light in the event of a power cut. It's perfect for using when you're away from home and you need a nightlight or a torch, in your own home when you need a light for navigating at night, or to safely light up areas such as the top of stairs. The NightSafe light comes with a cradle that you plug in and place the light inside. This charging base will keep the torch permanently charged so it's ready for use at any time. When you pick it up out of the base or in a power cut, the light switches on automatically. At first, the torch will provide 15 lumens of light. This is the safety mode and is ideal during power cuts. You can then push a button to turn it into a torch where it will provide 130 lumens. When it is in its cradle, the light has two settings: dusk to dawn or motion sensor. In dusk to dawn mode, the light will provide a constant low light at night, increasing in brightness if motion is detected. In motion sensor mode, the light will stay dark unless motion is detected, when it will then turn on for a set time to provide a safely lit area. This lamp is available to buy from the site centre or our online shop for £22. Smart Go Lamp. The Smart Go Lamp, made by the Daylight Company, is a rechargeable and lightweight desk lamp designed to be portable and easy to use. It has bright daylight LEDs to provide true colour, which makes it a great addition in combination with a magnifier for crafting, reading or doing a crossword. It has a rechargeable battery which, at full charge, should last around 6.5 hours depending on dimmer setting. It is operated by touch and has 3 dimmer settings. It comes with a USB cable for recharging, but no mains plug. The lamp is available to buy from the site centre or our online shop for £34. Low Vision News. Congratulations to Tara Butler, who has been promoted to Head of Sight Loss Services. Many of you will know Tara from the low vision clinics or from her role as the Eye Care Liaison Officer at Treliske Hospital. Many of you will know Tara from the low vision clinics or from her role as the Eye Care Liaison Officer at Treliske Hospital. Her new title recognises the knowledge and skills she's worked hard to develop, as well as her dedication to the charity, helping people with sight loss for over a decade. Chapter 9a. Assistive Technology. Spotlight on mobile phones. There are a number of different phones that are designed to help blind and partially sighted people stay in contact with loved ones. From large button phones with simple-to-use features, to smartphones with built-in accessibility options that allow you to change font sizes or use voice commands. Our assistive technology advisor, Dominic Hall, has reviewed 4 mobile phones that we have here to demonstrate at the site centre. BlindShell Classic 2. This phone is designed specifically for people with severe sight loss. It is a fully vocalised and tactile mobile phone which provides spoken feedback for everything, from menu navigation to reading text messages aloud. When connected to Wi-Fi and mobile data, you can verbally command the phone to make calls to both contacts and telephone numbers, dictate text messages, and navigate the menu. It is also capable of providing screen reader support for apps such as WhatsApp and YouTube, and has a large catalogue of apps such as Be My Eyes and Lookout. Key features: dimensions 135 by 54 by 16 millimeters, weight 135 grams, 4G compatible, dual micro SIM card slots unlocked to all UK networks. Can be charged either via AC cable or charging dock. Available in 2 separate colours, red or black. Chapter 9b. G-Mark Amplified Clamshell Mobile Phone. This clamshell style flip phone has large, easy to see buttons with a clear display and an optional talking dial pad. If you struggle to locate buttons, a flip to answer and close to end call feature can be enabled. 2 memory buttons allow you to speed dial your most relevant contacts, and a dedicated SOS button on the back of the device will call 5 preset emergency contacts sequentially, when pressed, until a response is received. The G-Mark can also connect seamlessly to hearing aids with M4, T4 hearing aid compatibility. Key features: dimensions 110 by 55 by 17 mm closed, 220 by 55 by 10 mm open. Weight 108 grams, 4G compatible, dual nano SIM card slots, unlocked to all UK networks. Talking caller ID, 10 numbers max. Can be charged either via AC cable or charging dock. The default pre-programmed emergency number is 112. Chapter 9C, Real Sam Pocket. Although it looks like a traditional smartphone, the Real Sam software, designed specifically for people with sight loss, allows you to interact with the device more easily via specific voice commands and speech feedback, either through pressing a tactile button located along the left edge of the phone, or the on-screen tap to talk icon. You can interact with the Real Sam Pocket entirely using audio commands, giving you the ability to access information and entertainment, remain connected to family and friends, and manage tasks. Key features: dimensions 147 by 71 by 9 mm, weight 172 grams, voice-assisted phone call and text message capabilities, access books, podcasts, radio and newspapers with RNIB streaming, 3-year monthly payment plan with O2 SIM card included, or Real Sam Pocket can be purchased outright to be used with preferred UK SIM. Chapter 9D, Synaptic Software. Synaptic software transforms standard Android tablets and smartphones into highly accessible devices for people with sight loss. A large customizable layout with clear high-contrast texts and icons helps to significantly improve visibility. Combine this with comprehensive audible feedback, including voice-guided navigation, text-to-speech capabilities for reading aloud text and emails, and a powerful built-in artificial intelligence AI that assists with grammar spelling errors and general questions. Synaptic empowers you to independently manage daily tasks, stay in contact with family and friends, and access information with ease. Key features: only available on Android devices with software version 7 or above. 13 or above recommended. Can either be purchased alongside a tablet smartphone, or the software can be purchased alone. Includes Synaptic Reader, a screen reading feature that allows you to audibly navigate third-party apps outside of Synaptic's menu screen, e.g. streaming services, WhatsApp Messenger, or online shopping apps. Includes 1 year of software updates. After this, updates and support are charged. 2 different tiers, Basic Support Plan and Complete Support Plan. These mobile phones vary in price from £105 at the lower end to £1,499 with the most comprehensive package. Add-ons such as Synaptic software support will incur additional annual costs. If you would like to try these phones for yourself to find out which one is best for you, please book an appointment with our assistive technology advisors by calling 01872 261110. Chapter 9E, Get Involved. We regularly work with different partners to bring you exciting new opportunities to take part in. Just this year alone, we've been to Pendennis Castle, the Eden Project, and Trerice in Newquay, and it's all thanks to individual funding projects that mean the activities are free or greatly subsidised for clients. National Trust Workshop. Some of our members were recently treated to a unique National Trust workshop which allowed them to hear and feel the music and sounds created by trees. It sounds like something from science fiction, but thanks to technology developed by sound artist Justin Wigan, the group were able to connect to nature in a completely different way. Justin uses sensors to pick up biorhythms, which are invisible waves of energy unique to each living thing. The sensors, which are attached to the tree, then convert these energy waves into musical notes to reveal a melody. The workshop, called Echoes of Blossom, was organised by the National Trust at their Trerice property near Newquay. To add to the experience, Justin also provided special haptic vests which, when worn, would vibrate and pulse as the sounds rang out, giving the wearer a massage from a tree. Chapter 9F – Roche Pharmaceutical. We were approached by an international pharmaceutical company called Roche to work with them on a UK-wide research project. They wanted to understand the access and uptake challenges that people living in coastal communities with age-related eye conditions are facing. We brought together a group of clients with age-related eye conditions to meet with the researchers from Roche at the Atlantic Hotel in Newquay. Over the course of the day, clients spoke about their experiences of accessing NHS services, including any barriers they faced and how these could be overcome. The feedback from the workshop will be used to help Roche optimise its eye care delivery service. Pendennis Castle. Another group of volunteers took part in the Pendennis Castle Touch Tour, devised by Eyesight Cornwall volunteer Jan Beardsall and supported by English Heritage. Jan, who also volunteers at Pendennis Castle, wanted to make the experience of visiting the castle more accessible for people with sight loss, so she created an audio-described tour and got permission from English Heritage to allow some of the artefacts to be handled. Judy said, "I really enjoyed attending Pendennis Castle and doing something different. I would never have had the opportunity to explore Pendennis if it wasn't for Eyesight Cornwall and Jan." Chapter 9G – Eden Project Wonder Workshop. Another exciting workshop we were involved in took place at the Eden Project. A group of members and volunteers were invited to explore the Eden Project's living collection of plants and learn more about them as part of the venue's Wonder Workshops programme. Part of the experience was holding a cacao pod and being able to feel the texture and smell the intense aroma. Sammy Brisden from the Eden Project explained how the cacao tree forms the pods and the process they go through to become the chocolate bars we know and love. The group were then able to try some of the cacao pod, tasting the sweet flavour of the fruit and learning about how darkened milk chocolate are made in different ways. As part of learning about familiar foods that may be unfamiliar plants, the group also got their hands on some cinnamon, not as the powder, as they may recognise, but as the bark of a tree. Eyesight Cornwall Wellbeing Coordinator Sophie Butcher said, "It was such a unique experience and it really allowed participants to use their other senses to explore the Eden Project's incredible biomes." Chris said, "I really enjoyed the workshop, not only being able to feel and smell and use my senses, but also having the opportunity to meet other blind and partially sighted people on the day. Thank you to Eyesight Cornwall for arranging the activity and to the Eden Project for being so welcoming." Chapter 9H – Clubs and Activities. Affiliated clubs. Many of the clubs held lovely Christmas celebrations for members and volunteers in December before going into their winter break. Bliss Singers even had an impromptu performance of Wham's Last Christmas by Carol and Sophie from Eyesight Cornwall. All the clubs would welcome new members, so if you'd like to try a new activity or meet new people, here's a reminder of when and where they meet. Bliss Singers. The Bliss, Blind in Song singers, meet in Short Lanes End Village Hall once a fortnight on a Tuesday from 2 to 4 p.m. You don't have to be a confident singer, you just need to be willing to join in. Large print song sheets are available for those that can use them. Bugle Blues Bowling Club. During the summer, the bowlers play outside on the green, and during the winter they move into the heated clubhouse to play short mat bowls. There are friendly competitions to take part in if you want to, or you can just go along to have a practice and meet with friends. The bowlers meet at Goonbarrow Bowling Club every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Bug Shooting Club. The club uses specially adapted rifles to shoot on the range at St Austell Rifle Club. The sight on top of the rifle picks up light which radiates out from the target and emits a pitch through a set of headphones. The pitch increases the closer you get to the bullseye. You don't need to have any experience of shooting to join. The club meets every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Dance Club Parr. This club meets monthly at Parr Methodist Church with volunteer dance instructors taking you through the steps. There are waltzes and foxtrots as well as sequence line dances to take part in. And when you need a rest, you can take a seat and enjoy the music. The monthly sessions take place on a Monday afternoon from 2 to 4 p.m. Dance Club Townsend. This club meets fortnightly in Townsend Village Hall. A dance instructor takes you through the steps and volunteer dancers guide you through the waltzes and foxtrots. There are also sequence line dances to take part in. The club currently meets from 2 to 4 p.m. on Thursday afternoons. Guitar Club. You don't need to have your own guitar. You don't even need to have played before. This club gives you the chance to practice or learn the guitar with other visually impaired people. They meet on Friday afternoons in Falmouth. Launceston Lunch Club. Volunteers from the Lunch Club book different local pubs and restaurants for each meeting. Members are often given a special deal on a 2-course meal plus tea or coffee at each venue. There is a raffle and auction at each event, which is always great fun. They meet fortnightly on Tuesday lunchtimes. Saltash Baps. A Saltash blind and partially sighted Baps club meet in Ashtor Rock once a fortnight to enjoy the entertainment, often speakers or musicians, as well as tea and cake. The meetings take place on Tuesday afternoons from 1:45 p.m. Huge thanks to volunteer Gwen Furness for taking over the organising of the club after Shirley Evans stood down in January after 25 years. Walking Buddies. Walking Buddies is a one-to-one activity where a volunteer will meet you at your house and take you for a walk in your local area. It's perfect for anyone who doesn't feel confident to go out on their own or who would welcome some company during the week. Chapter 9I. Non-affiliated clubs. Able Bowling. Able Bowling Club meets fortnightly in Short Lanes Inn Village Hall on Monday afternoons from 2 to 4:30 p.m. Blind at Sea, BATS. BATS is a sailing club for people with sight loss, which is based at Myla Yacht Club. They also offer fishing trips and gig rowing. Bude Visually Impaired Support Group. This group meets at Elements Restaurant in Bude on the first Wednesday of the month. They get together for a cuppa and a chat, and they often have guest speakers. Cabs. Cabs Shooting Club meets every Wednesday afternoon at the Rifle Club in Helston. Sailability. Sailability is an accessible sailing school based in Myla for anyone with a sensory, physical or learning disability. Truro Rifle Club. The club meets every Wednesday afternoon from 2 to 4 p.m. at the City of Truro Rifle Club near Malpas. Chapter 9J. Events Diary 2025. On the 20th of May we will be in the Mount Wise Community Centre, Newquay, between 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. On the 19th of June we will be in the Dracana Centre, Falmouth, between 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. On the 15th of July we will be in Truro Community Library between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. On the 16th of September we will be in the Old Cattle Market, Helston, between 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. Our AGM will be held on the 10th of October in St Erme Community Centre between 10:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. Outlook is also available as large print 16-point colour magazine, large print 22-point plain text, audio USB stick, audio CD, online audio via our website.